Our next example has 3 chords, E, D, and C, but we're going to be playing some inversions here. An inversion is when we play the notes of a chord, but simply put them in a different order. Let me go ahead and play the example with a drum beat, and then we'll come back and break it down. So for this example, I started off with an E power chord, 7 on the A string, 9 on the D string, nothing new there. But then I played a C chord, but it's kind of an interesting way to play a C chord. I played C with an E in the bass. So we're going to keep the E on the 7th fret of the A string, and then play C on the 10th fret of the D string, and the C is the root note. So you can call this a C chord, or more accurately, C with an E in the bass, or C/E when you see it written down. Just gives you a different flavor, so rather than playing a C chord as we normally might, we can play this way. So we played E, C over E, followed by a D power chord, back to an E power chord. Once again, E, C over E. Then we played a D with F sharp. So what we're going to do here, it's still a D chord. We're going to move this same shape up 2 frets to play 9 on the A string, that's F sharp, and then the root note D, 12 on the D string. And then back to E. And I did this one time where I was just holding those chords. Then the second time around, I added some muted 8th notes on the open low E string. Okay, we're going to continue our exploration of some new and interesting chords. This time we're going to play with a clean sound. Let me go ahead and play the example with the drum beat, and then we'll come back and break it down. So here I'm using a clean sound, and I'm starting off with an A minor chord, and I'm using the middle pickup on my guitar. So far up to this point, I've been using just the back pickup. Usually when playing heavy rhythm guitar, you're going to want to go to that back pickup that has the most treble. That always sounds best when you're playing with a lot of distortion. When you're soloing, you can switch to any pickup. Also with a clean sound, you can use any pickup, but for now, I've gone to the middle pickup. It just sounds a little bit warmer than the back pickup does. Here's the back pickup. The back pickup will also have more output. That could be nice. Here's the front pickup. So I've got a lot of options. So now let's take a look at the chords. I'm playing an A minor chord. It's an A minor chord with an added ninth. So the theory behind it would be we're adding the open B string, which is the ninth. So A minor, add 9, and I'm going to arpeggiate, which means I'm going to play one note at a time before striking the chord. We'll start off with the open A string, 7th fret of the D, and then I'll strike the 5th fret of the G along with the top 2 strings open. Now a similar idea with an E minor chord, open low E, followed by 7 on the A, 5 on the D string. When I get to the 5 on the D string, I'll strike the top 3 strings open as well. That's an E minor chord. Now we're going to move to a D minor chord. This D minor chord will also have an added ninth. In this case, that will be the high E string played open. So here we'll play the D string open, followed by 7G, and then 6 on the B along with the open high E string. And in spite of all these fancy names, we're still basically just playing A minor, E minor, and D minor. After playing the D minor chord, back to the A minor chord. So here's what we've done so far. And now repeat that. And here's the next chord. It's going to be an F major 7 sharp 11. Very fancy name, but it's basically just an F chord. And we're going to have some open strings in there as well. I have F on the 3rd fret of the D string, along with C on the 5th fret of the G string. If I stop there, I've created an F power chord. But we're also going to have the B string open and the high E string open. That's what gives it that strange name, F major 7 sharp 11. But it's a great sound. And once again, we're going to arpeggiate our way through the chord. So we'll play the D string, followed by the G string, and then the top 2 strings together, open. And we'll play that 3 times. And those open strings are really cool. I try and do those whenever possible. Open strings always give you that kind of ringing, full sound to your chords. So here's the whole thing now. Now repeat. So here we've learned some chord inversions as well as some open string chords. Once again, for the chord inversions in our first example that we played here, we're playing this shape. And this is a very useful shape. What's good to know is that the root note is no longer with the 1st finger, but rather with the 4th finger. So the first chord that we played with this shape was an C chord with E in the bass. The C is played on the 10th fret of the D string. E down on the 7th fret of the A. So try and keep that in mind as you move around and play that same chord shape. We also did that up 2 frets to play a D chord, but it was D with F sharp in the bass. Very helpful to know the names of the notes on the neck as well. So let's just randomly move this shape around and let's see if you can find out the name of the chord. What if I have the 2nd fret of the A along with the 5th fret of the D string? Do you know what that would be called? Take a minute, pause this lesson, see if you can figure it out. All right, well now you're back and I'll give it away. It's a G chord with B in the bass. We have B on the 2nd fret of the A string, G is on the 5th fret of the D. The G is the root note. And we can also move this to other strings, so we'll do one more. What if I have F sharp on the low E string, and then D on the A string? What note is that, or what chord is that? Pause, try and figure it out. Come back, I'll give you the answer. It is a D chord with F sharp in the bass. Same chord that we played up here. Okay, so there's a little info on some chord inversions. Once you got those under your fingers, you're ready to move on.